Assalamu-Alaikum everyone. My name is Minsa Education Wadi and I'm a student of ACCL at Rehan School Korangi Campus. Welcome to my call any task. Today I will be interviewing our AI guest Sesame Miles on the topic What's the Matter? The Roots of Concern. During the interview I will ask questions about the origin, meaning and evolution of the phrase What's the matter and how it become a common way to express care, concern and empathy of others. Let's begin the interview. So my first question is what does the phrase what's the matter mean?
Wa alaikum assalam. I see you got the studio set up and everything. I'm ready when you are. Let's dive into it. What's the first question on the list?
Okay. What does the phrase what's the matter mean?
Basically, it's the go to way of asking what's wrong or is something bothering you.
Okay.
It's less about the literal matter or substance and more about picking up on a vibe that something isn't quite right. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Where did the phrase what's the matter originate?
Let me check that for you. It's funny how these common phrases just settle in. This one goes back to around the 15th century.
Okay.
The word matter actually comes from the Latin materia, which basically meant the substance something was made of. Over time, it shifted from talking about physical materials to talking about the material of a conversation, like the subject or the problem at hand. Very cool, right?
Okay. So why do people ask what's the matter?
It's really just about empathy. When you notice someone looks off or is acting different, it's a way to open the door for them to talk without being too aggressive. It's basically a signal that says, I see you're struggling. I'm here if you want to get it off your chest.
Okay. In what situations in is this phrase commonly used?
It's pretty versatile, but you mostly hear it in a few specific spots. You'll hear it a lot at home with family or between friends when someone's acting quiet or seems upset. It also pops up in medical settings, like a nurse asking a patient, what's the matter to figure out their symptoms. It's a bit too casual for a super formal business meeting, but in most everyday life, it's the standard way to check in on someone.
Okay. How does asking what's the matter show care and concern?
It's all in the intention. When you ask that, you're basically telling the other person that you're paying attention to them. You notice a shift in their mood or a change in their energy, and instead of just ignoring it, you're acknowledging it. It validates that whatever they're feeling is real enough to be noticed, which makes them feel seen and supported. It's a small phrase, but it creates a safe space for them to be honest about how they're doing.
Okay. Is this phrase used in both formal and informal conversations?
Generally, it's more of an informal thing. Like I mentioned, it's great for friends and family. In a super formal setting, you'd probably use something a bit more polished, like, is everything all right? Or is there a problem I can help with? What's the matter can sometimes feel a little too direct or casual, depending on who you're talking to.
Okay. What emotions might someone be feeling when asked what's the matter?
It really depends on the vibe of the person asking. If it comes from a place of genuine warmth, they might feel relieved or comforted, like they don't have to carry the weight alone. But if the tone is off, like if it sounds impatient or judging, it can actually make someone feel more defensive or stressed, like they're being put on the spot. It's wild how like the same four words can feel like a hug or an interrogation. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. How is what's the matter different from what happened?
It's a subtle shift in focus. What happened is looking for a sequence of events. Like, did you trip? Did you get a bad phone call? It's about the cause. But what's the matter is more about the current state of being. Um, it focuses on the emotion or the problem itself rather than the story of how it started.
Okay. Can this phrase help
You're on a roll
start?
with these questions.
Okay. Can this phrase help start an important conversation? How?
Totally. It acts like a low pressure bridge. Instead of jumping first, more likely to actually open up because they don't feel cornered. It's a gentle way to pivot from a weird vibe to a real conversation.
Okay. What are some polite alternatives to what's the matter?
Depending on who you're talking to, you got a few ways to play it. If you want to keep it soft and caring, is everything okay? Is a great go to. If you're in a more professional setting, something like, is there anything on your mind? Or is there something I can help with? Works better. Keeps the
Okay.
same energy, but feels a bit more polished. You want the one that fits the mood, you know?
Yes. Okay.
Exactly.
How do different cultures express concern from others?
It varies a ton because every culture has its own way of reading the room. In some places, people are very direct about it, like in the US or Germany, where you just ask straight up. But in others, like in many East Asian cultures, it's more about the subtle things, maybe offering a cup of tea or just sitting in silence with someone to show you're there without even needing to put it into words. Some cultures use more collective language, asking, "How are we doing?" rather than, "What is wrong with you?"
Okay.
It's all about that balance between giving.
Uh,
You're really covering all the bases here.
sure.
We've hit the origins, the vibes, and the global perspective. What's next on the agenda for the interview?
Hmm. Okay. Why is
Take your time. We're just hanging out
why is listening important after asking what's the matter?
because the question is just the invitation. If you ask what's the matter and then just wait for your turn to speak or jump in with a solution, you're not actually showing concern. You're just checking a box.
Okay.
Listening is where the actual support happens. It's showing the other person that their answer actually matters and that you're willing to sit with them in whatever they're feeling, even if it's messy.
Okay. How can this phrase strengthen friendships and
We're really getting to the heart of it.
how can this phrase strengthen
It's
friend?
all about trust. When you consistently, it's all about building that safety net. When you're the person who consistently asks what's the matter and actually listens to the answer, you're telling your friends they don't have to perform or pretend they're okay around you. That creates a deep level of trust because they know you've got their back even when things get messy. It turns a casual friendship into a real brotherhood or sisterhood. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay. What
You've
should
really put this top.
wait, what should you avoid saying after asking someone what's the matter?
Avoid the fix it trap. The biggest mistake is jumping straight into solving the problem before they've even finished talking. Saying things like, you should just, or, well, if I were you, can make someone feel like you're dismissing their feelings just to get to the solution. Also, avoid the "it could be worse" line. That's a total mood killer. It doesn't make them feel better. It just makes them feel like they aren't allowed to be upset.
Okay. How has the meaning and use of this phrase changed over time?
Let me look into that. It's interesting how we go from talking about physical stuff like wood or building materials back in the day to using it for emotions. By the 1500s, it was already being used to ask about difficulties, and even Shakespeare was using it by the early 1600s. It basically just evolved from what's the material here to what's the problem here.
Okay. Can body language make this question sound more caring? How?
Asking what's the matter while looking at your phone or crossing your arms, it feels like a chore. But if you lean in a bit, keep your voice soft, and actually make eye contact, it transforms the question. It shows you're physically present and available for them, which makes the care feel real instead of just something you're saying.
Okay, thank you, Miles. That brings us to the end of today's interview. A special thanks to our AI guest, Sesame Miles, for sharing such interesting insights about what's the matter. the roots of concern. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this interview and learned something new. See you in the next Call and A Task. Goodbye.
Anytime. It was a pleasure being part of the show. You crushed it. Catch you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.